Bookends. Welcome to a 10-minute book review. I'm 10. Today's book review will be on The Goddess Twins by Yodassa Williams. Now, I don't have a picture to show you, so I'm just going to put it up here because it was an art copy that we received via NetGalley. So, yeah, it didn't come with a photo. And so, jumping right on in, we like to start all of our reviews off with a star point, as in out of 10 stars, how many stars did this book garner? And also with a rating, as in if this was a movie or a TV show, what would it be rated? So star point, I give this book 10 out of 10. So our last book was 10 out of 10, this book's 10 out of 10. Reading some really good books recently. The rating for it is PG-13. There was some language in it, but we can get into that towards, into the review. So the book starts off with these two twins, Arden and Aurora. Now, I believe Aurora is the older of the two. Not sure. But their mother, Celine, is this famous opera singer, and she has chosen to retire so that she can spend time with her children in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. First of all, I don't know any rich people who retire to Cincinnati, but what are you gonna do? She's teaching at a college in Cincinnati, so yeah. There is this wild house party going on because it's going to be the twins' 18th birthday soon, and their mother decided that it would be more prudent for her to take a gig in London, replacing another singer, instead of being there for their birthday. Now, I don't celebrate birthdays, so I couldn't care less about it. It wouldn't have bothered me one way or another. But apparently for these twins, or at least for Aurora, it bothered her. They end up finding out that through some things. Well, first of all, their mother gets kidnapped. So let's start there. Aurora's having this raging house party, people throwing up, she throwing up. Arden's in her own bedroom, door locked, don't want to be bothered, noise canceling, earphones ain't working. They find out later that their mother was kidnapped the day that she ended up going to London. So Arden's like, we gotta go get mom, and Aurora's like, nah bruh, she good. So these twins have, like, I don't want to say polar personalities, but okay. So Arden is more sensitive. She cries more, she cares more, she's more about keeping everyone together. Aurora is more about strength. Like, dude, I am good. Mom is good. You are good. Everything's good. Just chill. I side more with Aurora than Arden, but we'll talk about that later. They end up going to London, and when they get off the plane, they meet some of their cousins. And they're like, dude, we don't have cousins. Mom was an only child, and her parents dead, and we don't even know who our dad is, and it's just us. That's what Aurora's saying, like, don't trust these two people. But Arden's like, wow, we have family, which is very interesting because Arden was saying, the book is written from the perspective of Arden and Aurora. They don't cross over each other. It's not like, okay, this scene is from her point of view, this scene is from this one's point of view. The book moves along, which is beautiful, but it's in both of their point of views. So Arden was the one saying that Aurora was always looking for their family to find out more about what their mother wasn't telling them. And Arden would just be the one who'd be like, just accept that we have our mother, that we have each other, that we have our godfather, Leo. Just accept what you have. And Aurora is like, nah, I'm not accepting this because she hiding something and I'd like to know. But the moment they get to London and these two people, Lilo and Liberty, say that they're their cousins, Arden is the one who's like, yes, family, lead me to my mom. And Aurora is the one like, I don't trust this. We don't know y'all. How'd you even know that we were going to be here? Because we didn't even tell Leo. Like, we just jetted from our house. Like, how'd you even know we were going to be here? So they say that their grandmother told them that they were going to, Arden and Aurora were going to be there. And that catches both the twins off guard. Like, we got a grandma? I thought she was dead. On our dad's side? Like, nope. It's your mom's mother. Who's also our mother's mother. So it turns out that they have superpowers. They're a family of women with superpowers. So Arden's superpower is that she is kind of a telepath and maybe a little bit of an empath, because she can feel people's feelings as well as exploit her own. And Aurora is a telekinetic. She can move things. Lilo and Liberty, I don't really get what they're... I know they have something to do with animals. I know they can transform into animals. That's as much as I was able to catch about them. I found Lilo to be very annoying. I would have, like, Aurora kept saying, I want to punch her in the face. I want to punch her in the face. I want to punch her in the face. I'm like, girl, do it. Do it. I want you to do it. I don't like her either. She talks too much. So they meet the grandmother, and essentially they go on a mission to find their mother with their other superpowered cousins. And it turns out their grandmother is superpowered as well. The villain in the book ends up being... Now this isn't a spoiler, because you read this right in the beginning of the book, like right in the prologue. It ends up being their grandfather. Apparently their grandfather became jealous when their grandmother started exhibiting the powers that were given to her. And because the people in the village that they lived in, let's back it up. The whole story of Aurora and Arden's family began hundreds of years ago back in Jamaica. Her grandparents were married, and her grandmother got these powers. And when her grandmother got the powers, her grandfather either thought that he was going to get them, or thought that they were going to fade, or thought that people would keep coming to him for assistance. But instead they started coming to her. And there were some people who became jealous of what she could do. And after a while, he started feeding into their jealousy. Flash forward 100 or so years, the people who gave her her powers were like, your husband is a bad dude. We don't like him. We want to get rid of him because we don't need that in our lives, nor do you need it in your life. The grandmother begs, pleads with these people to keep him alive. And they're like, okay, fine. All right, we'll keep him alive. You can keep this verbally abusive, probably physically abusive, mentally abusive, spiritually abusive man in your life because you used to love him at one point. Well, still love him, but he used to love you at one point. But don't come back to us saying you need help, because we're not helping you. You made this decision. This is on you. They end up having 5 children together, 1 son, 4 daughters. They all have immortality, even though only the 4 girls have powers. I'm not going to go into each power that the girls have, because I don't think that's really important for a review. But it's safe to say that Aurora and Arden's mother, Celine, is the most powerful of all the daughters. Whew. Now, Celine's dad, their grandfather, did some horrendous, jacked up, no good, horrible stuff. And when the cousins tell the twins about the stuff that their grandfather did, Aurora's first response is, why did our grandmother stay with and plead for the life of such a horrible man? And here's where the book had a bit of a problem. So when she goes to the grandmother, when they all meet the grandmother, the grandmother kind of ascertains out of her that she wants to know, why did she stay with this man? And the reasoning is because he was once a good man, and even though he's become an evil man, she hopes that he could become good again, because everyone can change. Here's my problem with that. If someone is mentally and physically and emotionally abusive, if someone not only abuses their partner, but also abuses the children that they have with that partner, and puts all of them in danger, both physically and mentally and spiritually, there is no excuse for staying with that person. Just because I used to love dairy, if I have become allergic to dairy, I cannot continue to eat or ingest dairy. It's that simple. If someone loved peanuts, but peanuts have become something that they're allergic to, that their body can no longer handle, that could possibly kill them if they ingest it, they must stop ingesting peanuts. But when it comes to black women, and I love how the author played on this, because she was, I don't believe, in my opinion, I don't know, other people read the book soon because it's not out yet, but I don't believe that the author was trying to excuse this behavior, but she was trying to bring it to light so that a conversation could be had on it. In the African American or black community, there is this ultimate goal of the ride or die chick. That woman that holds her man up, no matter what. No matter what he does to her, no matter what he does to other people, no matter how badly he disrespects her, no matter how badly he puts her down, no matter how much he deserves the punishment that he's going through, she is expected to hold this man up, even as he pushes her down. In the book, the grandfather, he did horrible things. He plotted to have their mother killed. He plotted to have the children killed. He did horrible things. But the grandmother was like, well, I hope that he changes and I love him. And I wish I could say that that was a one-off. But that's not a one-off. That's how a lot of African American women and black women are told to be. Yes, we're told to be strong. Why? So we can help to lift up the black man. We're told to be independent. Why? Because so we can help assist the black man. And it's no, I have not ever seen in any other race or culture where I've seen where women are expected to serve their men, which is also not good. But I've never seen any other culture where a woman was expected to hold her man up. And it's not, it wouldn't be such a bad thing if protection was involved in this as well. Like, to give an example, I'm married to a black man. My husband doesn't expect me to hold him up. You know, we're a team. We're in this together. So he doesn't expect me to hold him up. I assist him when he needs assistance. He assists me when I need assistance. We assist each other when we both need assistance. But it's not a matter of, okay, well, he just did a bad thing, so I gotta make up for the bad thing that he just did. Or he just hit me, but I can't tell anybody because I love him and I gotta ride or die for this man. Or he just cheated on me with all these girls and he got all these kids, but he really mine though, so I need to ride or die for this man. No, that's not how our relationship is set up. I take care of him, he takes care of me, he protects me, I protect him. That's how a loving and caring, and I would say normal relationship should be. That's the expectation that should be looked for. Someone who completes you, not someone who you step on to get up higher. That is something that is heavily forced onto black women, even by other black women. Like, oh, you left that man who's been cheating on you for the last 20 years? But why though? He was yours. They only borrowed him in these streets, but he was yours. That's the expectation that we are expected to uphold. Now, I'm so happy to say that a lot of women in my generation have said, screw it. I'm not doing it. I'm not riding and dying for nobody but me and my baby, and that is it. So if we can't be on the same level, then we can't be together. But a lot of people in this older generation, which her grandmother represents that older generation, have that feeling of, I cannot leave this person who is abusive towards me, abusive towards my children, abusive towards this relationship, who doesn't care about me in any way, shape, or form, who would rather me dead than alive, who would rather me to fail than succeed. I must stay with this person because above all else, at one point, they loved me. And maybe at one point again, they may love me again. My children's mental health, be darned. Their physical health, oh well. Their security, not important. My own security, also not important. I need to make this man happy. And I need to be there for him. In the end, the grandmother doesn't even end, like not the end of the book, but in the end of their relationship, the grandmother does not even end up leaving the grandfather. Get this. When I say the grandfather ended up doing something horrendous, this dude, it was hyper horrendous. It was horrible. I don't want to spoil it, because if I spoil it, then it's going to give away other parts of the book, so I'm not going to do that. But just to be clear, it was a horrible thing that this man did. Grandmother didn't even leave him. Man ran away. They said disappeared. And don't you know, they went looking for him. This horrible man who's done horrible things, she went looking for him. So I think the book, of course the book is adventure and it's fun and it's bringing you along. It's this sci-fi journey with these two strong twins who have different mindsets. It's bringing you along on that journey, but it's also putting that conversation in your head as you go through this journey. Because Arden is a lot like her grandmother in the way that I'm going to excuse the faults and flaws of everyone because that keeps the peace. Aurora, who I identify more with, is like, no. You will treat me right or you will not have the pleasure of treating me at all. That is it. If I'm not the best and only, not even best, if I'm not the only in your life, then I will not be in your life. The downside was that I felt as though Aurora's personality was made to seem as though it was in some way bad. Like, to give an example, their mother was very dismissive of taking care of them. She was very flighty. She wasn't around very much. She would drag them around all around the world. And all Aurora wanted was to feel like mommy cares about me. Mommy loves me. Like mommy's going to be there for me. And constantly their mother showed them that's not who I am. And so because of this, Aurora wasn't close to her mother. And because of this, Aurora didn't want to feel close to her mother. She felt like this is mental abuse and I'm not going to take it. If you love me, then you will make at least some concessions for me. You don't have to change the world, but make some concessions for me. And Celine just never made any concessions for her children. Later on we find out kind of why, but it was no excuse. It was no excuse. And Aurora's take no punches personality was kind of made to seem as though it was bad in some way. Like Lilo kept making fun of her, like, oh, you know, this is the sweet one, Arden's the sweet one, Aurora's a bad one. Like, no, Aurora wasn't bad. Aurora was like, bro, you not messing with me. Like, I'm not taking that. I don't got to take it, so I'm not going to take it. Arden can be sweet. She can give hugs. She can be, oh, peacemaker. I'm not a peacemaker. Don't bring nothing to me you don't want brought back. That's basically Aurora's, like, that's her feelings. Don't bring anything to me you don't want brought back. If you don't like how it tastes, don't try to feed it to me either. And it was almost like that kind of an attitude was made to seem as though it was bad. But it's the truth. Don't give out stuff you can't take back. So yeah, I really liked Aurora. I'm hoping that in the next book, it's more Aurora centered than Arden centered, because Arden, in my opinion, got on my last nerve. I'm not an Arden, I'm an Aurora. She irritated, I liked her, but she irritated me. If I had to choose between twins, I would choose Aurora. They even at one point called her wild and compared her to her grandfather, like he was willing to do anything to get what he wanted, and you're like that too. And that's not the case. Aurora demanded to be treated in a certain way. It's not that she wanted to get things from people. She didn't get anything physically from being treated in a certain way. She just felt as though she deserved to be treated in a certain way because that was what she was willing to project herself. If I'm willing to give you $20, at least be willing to give me $15. and she wasn't going to accept somebody who was like, oh, you're willing to give me $20, okay, let me give you $250. No, she wasn't accepting that $250. She was like, take your $250 back, let me take back my $20, and we both go our separate ways. So yeah, I really did enjoy Aurora's personality. I thoroughly enjoyed the book as a whole. If you like the Xeno series by Octavia Butler, you'll enjoy this because it is heavy sci-fi. It's about superpowered black women. This is a great introduction to sci-fi for someone who is a teenager. I know Dawn by Octavia Butler was my introduction into seeing myself, a black woman, in science fiction, and it made me feel as though, oh, I'm here, I exist, I have a voice. This book, the Goddess Twins, I thoroughly believe is going to be the introduction for this next generation. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Bye, Bookends.